How's it going out there? I'm your host, TJ Evans, with another episode of Untitled Discussion. Thank you for joining us with another episode of Untitled Discussion. I'm sitting down with a rather large panel tonight. We have multiple guests, and I'm glad that all y'all can join me in everybody's onesies, pajamaed out, chilling for a vacation in the cabins, and want to talk. So let's run our mouths. A lot of things are going on in the black community, and especially in the social media world. And I want to talk about what's generating a lot of funds, especially through the COVID times and things like that. And a big money maker for a lot of people is OnlyFans. OnlyFans has been around before COVID, but people just now start making a lot of money from it. So, how do y'all feel? Let's go around the room. Let's start with you.
I have no problem with it.
How do you feel about OnlyFans? Is it like a...
Make your money.
So you cool with it?
Yeah.
All right.
I think it's just a platform for people to do weird shit, pretty much. Like, if you just want to look at feet, or if you just want to color in a coloring book, or if you want to have sex, that's pretty much what OnlyFans is.
That's it.
So,
To me.
So it's
Basically,
really odd.
It's a fetish.
But that's all it is.
I'm saying it's
Voyeurism.
like any other platform,
Yeah, pretty much.
except somebody's getting paid for it.
Subscribe to my channel.
What's your OnlyFans?
Janae Diamond 425.
So so it's like a
Well, I see it as an online strip club.
Yeah. I agree.
I know this one chick. She needed her closing costs for her house, and she had it in like 2-3 months.
all right.
I
Yeah,
gave
that's,
her like $10.
I'm weak as fuck.
I mean, that's what she needed it for. She went on there and danced.
but is it a positive or a negative thing? Like,
It depends on how you
It
look at
depends
it.
on you.
On how they use it, yeah.
What type of
I
person?
mean,
So
anything
we know-
can be positive or negative.
we know that mostly that it's being
Why
used
would it be negative?
for
Oh,
sexual exploit.
It's
We know
always
it can be
it's
negative.
always a way to make something
But
negative. People just always make it a
People
way.
give their body away all the time. People
But
go,
does they make it right?
it's their body.
I mean, if you want Fruit Loops ate out your butt and you want everybody to see it, then I mean, it is what it
They
is.
do that.
But you got strip clubs, like
Yeah.
you got nude beaches.
With a spoon sometimes. And
Yeah, you got porn,
You gotta
like
go right in. I mean, I get the.
I mean, if people willing to buy, why not pay? Why
you know,
not?
some things may not be as bad when you.
I mean, you go to the
That's how
strip
far
club,
I
right?
go.
You'll pay to get in there. You'll pay to see somebody shake their ass, take their clothes off. So,
All right. So
Strippers are being taxed now,
when
but I'm just
You
saying.
know they have to have a license.
OnlyFans are being taxed.
Right.
Oh yeah, I'm doing it.
the
on
reason
Yes.
the reason why I
That's
asked
trying to get
about
their money.
the reason why I asked about the positive aspect versus the negative aspect, what line you're on, because I do understand that a lot of people do it. I understand that strip clubs are out there. I understand that porn is things that is accessible easily nowadays. I understand that people are making their money off of it. But I'm talking about the effects that it actually has on a human being.
Meaning morals.
Not even just more,
Mental?
just even your mental capacity. Like, it's been shown how people react to certain things like porn, and it actually makes it kind of hard for an individual to, I don't want to say have normal sex, but not to go into a complete
So we're talking
perversion.
specifically the
nothing
sex
is really
aspect in
normal these
OnlyFans.
days.
Yeah, because like just to be completely honest about it, we already know what OnlyFans is used for. Like, we can say that other
Well, it
people
didn't
do
originally
different.
start off for
that-
sex.
And I understand that, but we can
What it
say
is
that it's
now.
not. But we already know what it is. If a girl walks up to me and says, "Go subscribe to my OnlyFans," I plan on, if I go subscribe to her, I'm going to see her titties. Like, I'm 9 times out of 10, that's what's going to be on her OnlyFans. So I'm saying, is it actually something that you can just sit there and just be like, it's a cool thing?
To
To
me,
me,
yeah.
my shit for free.
I don't know. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I
It's
just
kinda the
look at it
normal
as
way.
People
I
want to
mean,
go there, shake their body, do what they gotta do. They're gonna do it regardless.
Right.
Whether it's OnlyFans, a strip club, them just out in the streets, they're gonna do what they want to do. They're making money this way. They doing it at their house.
Social media is a
on comfort of their
platform.
That's
home.
what I'm about to say. I think
You
it's
ain't
all
I'm about to
Social
say,
media.
that's what I was thinking. It's all
It's a
social
platform.
media.
Definitely.
Okay, so all right, we see that on social media everywhere now, like Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. We see it on social media. So, is it healthy though? Because we're in a time where there's a lot of
Nothing is healthy
mental illness out there. Well, there's a lot of people dealing with
Well,
mental
I'm
illness,
saying-
and social media doesn't help none.
Exactly.
So, is it something that should be promoted, or we should actually accept as a community if we already see that it can be detrimental? That's what I'm asking. Is it?
Anything can be detrimental.
Yes, it's true, but that we don't consume anything. Like I know for a fact, if I eat McDonald's 3 times a day, every day for 6 months, something's gonna happen to me. So I choose to not go to McDonald's. So what I'm saying is, if as a community, would it help for us to avoid certain things like that?
Like
just-
what?
Like promoting sites like OnlyFans, or promoting the.
How would you promote your site? Or your podcast, webcast, whatever?
Well, me personally, I always had this thing where if somebody uses their body in order to promote their business or anything like that, I always see it as somebody that ran out of ideas. Like if you sell your body, because at the end of the day, it's prostitution.
Sex sale though.
Yeah, it
Sex
does.
sale.
You
It
gotta get what the
can be
company wants.
If a
nails.
man
Like it can
does
be
it,
lipstick.
They don't be
People,
like nigga
you
around
know, like it
this.
could be her. Like
Mm-hmm.
sexy shit sale.
That's true, but
I mean-
that's true, but
But what?
That goes back to the thing about, it's off the subject, but I'm saying men, like, they want girls this way, but they sit there and idolize females looking like this.
Exactly. So
It's a
I
contradiction.
mean,
Yeah.
we're visual creatures. Like,
It's
It-
a
But I'm just
contradiction.
saying.
why we use sex to get what we want
Now-
and to promote stuff.
Now-
because
we're visual.
usually when we go on
But
that
you asked
line,
for it, so they gave it to you. And now
Usually-
you labeled her a hoe.
usually when you get on that line, you start doing what came first, the chicken or the egg. That's when you get into that whole argument. If men look at certain things and say, well, like, if men like women to be scantily clad, like, we want to see their bodies exposed. The only way we get to see that if y'all choose to do that. But I can use the argument of how marriage is. Like, beforehand, men did not have sex before marriage. People didn't have sex before marriage. Like, it literally shot up after the whole sexual revolution, which was pitched by this crazy male doctor who used a lot of really whacked out studies. So, beforehand, men had to court their woman. They had to go to the house, sit on the swing set, and talk to their girl in front of their dad's house.
Women don't want to be courted no more.
It was
They
also
had-
they just want money.
different in dating standard.
Depending
So
on
now
what
with the
you
internet,
want.
people
Yeah.
get
You have some
flown
women
out.
that do want to
Recorded.
be
The
courted.
ones that's
Right.
on OnlyFans.
But wait,
Right.
if
They
it's
just want the
if it's a fine chick in
So we cut out the
Kansas,
middleman, we get them the money, we get what we came for.
absolutely. But if it's a fine chick in Kansas in the middle of nowhere, 50 years ago, she would have been damn near stuck in Kansas to find her husband. Nowadays, you got the internet, one click, and she might have a dude in Miami or Atlanta, wherever, fly her out, maybe change her whole life. You feel me? Couple standards to that, and she don't want to go back to Kansas. So it's a different world that we live in now.
But that's what I'm saying. It's after she subjects herself to a certain standard. Like, she goes to taking off her clothes and all this stuff.
I mean, we
that's what I'm
we
saying.
gotta go back
If-
before that, but women wasn't just taking off their clothes out of nowhere. like,
that's what I'm getting to, because if, again, sexual revolution, before that happened, women were being married. Like, the marriage rate was up there. Like, let's say, what was it, 1960s, the marriage rate for the black community was a little bit, well, I say around like 60-70%. And then after the revolution came about and the government came in with the Civil Rights Act, the what was it that Lyndon Johnson did? I forgot. But after that was implemented, that's when the man was kicked out the house and certain things happened. So when I say when it comes down to the courtship, y'all control sex. Women control sex, period.
But they don't
So
do that.
we move how y'all move when it comes down to sex. Men control the marriage aspect of things. we're the ones who have to say we choose to marry you. But if women say we don't want to have sex until we're married, guess what? We're not going to try to have sex because that's a
I
crime.
ain't gonna say we ain't.
Not with
Yeah.
her.
No,
her.
but I'm saying if
Yeah.
all women,
It's not
if majority of women did that, yeah, it'll change a whole lot of things in life. That's what I'm saying.
But
you're
because
never getting
of how
majority women
sex
to do
is
that.
with women, sometimes when we don't even want to and we love you, we're in love with you, we're gonna marry you. Even if we don't want to, we will lay down and still have sex with you.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
How y'all feel about kids?
What about them?
What about them?
Y'all want to make multiple babies?
I don't want none.
Yep. Most.
None?
No.
No kids? No
Not
kids?
unless I
None? No
Fall in
multiple?
love and the person changed my mind right now.
Mm. Why y'all don't want kids?
I just don't want them right now. People change. Things change. That's just where I'm at right now. Not to be 4 years from now, 3 years from now. Yeah. People change. Things change.
God dang, we're so much different from our parents. It's freaking crazy.
That's
Are
true.
you still trying to figure stuff out?
Oh, shit, I
Are we
wasn't
still at the
playing,
figure
so-
stuff out age?
Would you
No.
consider an adoption? Would be my question to you.
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right now, I just want to live my life, travel. My mindset right now, I don't want no kids. I'm not saying I won't change if I meet someone and I fall in love and they want kids, I will consider that. When I get older, if I want a kid, I will adopt and give someone a home.
Mm.
But I'm not one of them people, but a lot of people have kids when they're not ready.
Right.
And without realizing they take it out on the kid.
Mm-hmm.
And the kid suffers. I'm lucky enough where I have a choice to have a kid. And when I mean choice, it's because of my orientation. So if I want to have a kid, it's going to be planned. It ain't, like bang, bang, planned. So right now, I don't want one. I like them. I'll babysit your kid for a few hours, return it. Go to movies. I love taking little babies to see the kid movies.
If I church
I don't be looking like that weird older person.
They
Just
definitely gonna come back on some
Yeah.
ladies rap dance.
And be done.
No, we can't put that now,
I'm a
like
great
that.
babysitter. I'm telling you. Your kid get all the snacks they want. We play. I always take them to, Chick-fil-A, wherever they want to go. When I took my goddaughter, we went to the store. She got toys. She got clothes. We
The
be
return
having fun.
policy is basically what she's
Daddy, she
saying.
made
No,
us
it's
fucking grand
not.
smoothie.
As long as I can
Right.
return them.
Have y'all ever thought about or considered marriage?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
of course.
Have you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why you're not married?
Ooh, good question.
Why you don't have
Do you-
kids?
Good
Do
question.
you want kids?
Great
Do
question.
you honestly? I'm gonna say, yeah, all that. But I think one of the major things that stopped me was I didn't think that I was ready to, and I wanted to get all this stuff before I did that. And another thing is, I was like, I don't want my kids to be like the only accomplishment that I have. So I put that off for a while, like, cause I was like, I want to have something really, really great. I don't want to be one of those people to be like, my greatest thing is my kids. But then I started thinking about it, I was like, it's still going to be the greatest thing that I accomplished is actually having kids. So, yeah, so now I'm on that path, that trajectory into
Towards
doing that. Yeah, towards kids and marriage and all that stuff. I always like the union of marriage. I think that's like the best thing, and it helps with taxes.
Good thing about kids, they always gonna love you no matter what. Your kid,
No.
that's unconditional. You don't think your kids unconditional love when they're
No.
little? I'm not saying when they get older.
No, because they're still a person with feelings. They know that they depend on you, but they know that they don't have to love you.
Ooh.
So you don't believe in
That's
unconditional love when
I
it
do.
comes down to a person?
I can't, kind of, but not
Yeah, because
really.
when I can believe in unconditional love when it comes down to.
I think
deity.
there's
Um,
conditions on everything.
Kissing.
You
But-
said that.
So is
Oh,
it-
go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, she was talking. Even you said they was taught. You said they're taught love. So I was having you two.
Yeah, kids are taught love. I'm saying when they come out, you teach them everything. You teach them how to walk, how to talk, how to express themselves, communicate. Like everything that a child learns is already from someone else.
So you don't think like you having a kid when your kid's young, they always want to hug you, and you don't think it's
It's the same way like with a dog. Like if you talk shit to a dog, beat the dog eventually is not gonna want to come to you, not gonna.
That's gonna be
Oh
scary.
yeah, I'm not talking about
So
that. People
it's
who
just
beat their
like-
kids and stuff. I'm just saying.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh.
Anything that's unconditional has no conditions. That means however I treat you, however I do you, you're gonna love me regardless. That's not what it is.
I get it.
Yeah.
I understand.
That makes sense. It does make sense because that's what I was thinking about too. Because I was like, I can believe in unconditional love when it comes down to like a deity, but when it comes down to like a human being, it's a little different.
Everything got conditions. Straight up.
Have y'all ever drew a line with y'all parents and saying like, yeah,
I'll talk
Hard
to
lines.
how y'all had that conversation
I
with them?
kind of disagree with
What?
that.
What?
No
The last
unconditional?
part, yeah. Because I'm not the most affectionate person, but my kids are super affectionate with me.
Mm.
Don't give them toys, but show them toys for 2 years straight and see how they feel. And I don't say that because they probably the best kids in the world. But you're human. So if mommy
That's what-
being
yeah.
mean to me, quote unquote, then they'll change their perspective. Right now, you're probably the sweetest person in the world to them. You say that because you got to whoop them, but you still feed them every day. So you're the sweetest person in the world to them.
But if how you've been is all they know, then they know like that's how she shows love,
Right.
however you show it. So they gonna love you regardless. That's different.
No, regardless.
If how she is all they know, whether she's very affectionate or not, if they know that's how she's been since day one, and other than her not really being that affectionate, if they understand whatever she does or whatever she says in a moment where she's trying to show love, they will accept that and still love her, is what I'm saying.
Well, I agree with that. That's a mature point. I know in my life, I've definitely stepped away from people and came back maybe when I understood that they gonna beat them type shit. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, I've
I
been.
feel that.
And then you can actually recognize like what real love is. It wouldn't be anything like crazy materialistic or anything like that. Like,
But wouldn't that still
you
be
know-
conditional, but just a compromise though? Coming to that middle ground, like.
It's definitely a compromise because once you get to a certain age, you understand like that's how my mom
Yeah, you-
is,
And that's just
and
what
that's
it
just
is.
what it is because you don't know their trauma, you don't know what they've gone through.
and
all
that's
that other stuff.
and that's
So-
the thing that we've been dealing with just period is just the different generations of trauma that they dealt with. And like I know a lot of people, they use those past issues and they harbor those past issues and they take it with them. I know with me personally, I just put certain things to the side and was just kept going. Can't blame anybody for what they didn't know or anything, what they couldn't teach me, and just keep pushing. I think a lot of times the kids, they don't see that, or a lot of adults our generation, they haven't forgiven their parents about certain things.
And when we voice how we feel, they take it as disrespect.
Yeah.
Because you shouldn't be telling me how you feel about something I'm doing.
Because your feelings don't matter.
Right. Because that's how they may have grown up.
Do you think that's just in the black community? Or it's
No,
just...
No.
That's
every-
No, that's in
But
every-
I mean, like, do you
That's
think
everyone.
it's like high with the black community?
Now,
I-
ineffectiveness to communicate overall, I would say is a
Yeah.
hot
Yeah, that's what I was
thing.
gonna say.
But that aspect is prominent everywhere.
And there's like jealousy between like a black father and a son that may be doing a little bit better than how he was. And the same thing with a mother
Oh, yeah.
and a black daughter.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
Me and my-
That,
yeah,
like, the competition, I don't know why that's there, but it's definitely there.
yeah, absolutely.
I think it comes down with the maturation of a person. Like some people in the previous generation, because I know y'all have seen like older people in the store or something, like in the store wearing tight jeans or like the cool shirt or whatever like that.
You say
They be
older,
like,
you mean like 60?
yeah, like in the 50s, 60s, they got the braids and all that stuff. You just like, yep. He sure did grow up. And a lot of people, they don't want to grow up. And that's why I was asking about the whole marriage thing too, is because like beforehand, people did that because they knew that's what they were supposed to do to be responsible. In order to be an adult, to establish yourself, you had to be married and have a family and all that stuff. And I feel like in our community, we kind of shy away from that because we like certain things. We like,
freedom.
yeah, we like
That's-
certain freedoms.
That's really what it is. I'm saying if you look at generations from what it's always been for the most part marriage, union. And now all of a sudden if you really look in the aspect now, everyone is like, no, I'm going to do it on my terms when I'm ready. Not because my mother said so or that's what my great grandparents was doing and so on and so forth. No, because back then you didn't have much of a choice.
Yeah, cause then that was the initial struggle. Even coming as a human being, the initial struggle was the people to fight against the elements. our war was against the elements, and then that's why we came together and built communities and did all this stuff. And but now everything comes at such a leisure. Like we can order a pizza right now, and it'll just be come to the front door. So everything is just pretty much just given to us in the microwave. Yeah.
And then we treat everybody like they're disposable.
Yeah.
And I got plenty of options. So if you don't bake chicken the way I like it, then I'll go find somebody who will.
And it's as easy as turning on your phone, turning on the app on social media and finding one. Or even not even have that person come to your door. You can just watch a video of that person doing what they're doing.
Exactly.
And you get the same thing.
I'll be honest, what I'm afraid of is not the now. The now, everything's new. So y'all brought up OnlyFans first. We don't know what 50 years or 10 years or 15 years is going to look like with that. Like, when it comes to you scroll on IG, I'm a man, I love ass, right? Granted, every image sometimes is ass. And sometimes I'm searching for something else.
And
still see ass.
Because sex sells. God dang it.
Yeah, but
Instagram selling a
what
whole lot of
happens when you
sex.
oversell sex? Sometimes you can cheapen it.
It's already cheap.
It's free.
It is. That's what I'm saying. It's cheap already, bro. Like,
I'm saying it's free.
But I think sometimes you see so much so often that you kind of let that rub off into your real life, and then you get these unrealistic.
How could it not?
Because
How could it not if it's your everyday?
Because it's your
So now you're
subconscious is
That's what I'm
kicking
saying. How
in.
could it not?
Like
That's
You
what it's
you
gonna
have
work.
trained your subconscious.
I know. I'm saying it's going to work. Well, this is fly by.
So now your mental health is being compromised by everything that you've seen. That's why I said like certain things is yes, it is obtainable. But is it really cool?
Right.
Like is it something that you can just sign off on and vouch for? You be like, oh yeah, that person does that. Good for that person. Like, is it really even for that person to do it? Because I know what the last thing I seen was something about this OnlyFans model, or it was on one of those dating apps, and she wound up dead in this middle-aged white dude house.
I know who you're talking about.
So
It
yeah,
happened like a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
The black
He's got a
girl.
couple of those cases.
yeah. So
And they tried to say that he found her like that. He had nothing to do with it.
yeah, she had fentanyl in her system, all this
In
stuff. because-
Georgia, it was a young lady that was on IG big, and remember the white van? The guy who
Mhm.
had the flowers. He went in the house, and she missing, or got killed.
But
or whatever.
we see stuff like that.
Right.
And I've seen my heart goes out to that young lady and her family because nobody should have to deal with anything like that. But is it something that we promote though, just by just saying it's all right? Like, is it?
Because it's easy.
I don't think we promote the violence against the women. Definitely.
No.
Yeah. So when you say something we promote, specify that for me. What you mean?
Is this something that we don't even see as taboo, or we don't try to shun it a little bit, or we don't judge? Because that's the thing that we don't do in this generation is we don't pass judgment, but judgment keeps people in line. Like
By
you
definition,
need,
it is order.
yeah, like you need to have some type of judgment on somebody. Like you got a little girl, you need to be able to tell her like, yeah, you're not wearing that skirt
But
outside
something
the
else
top.
is
Like,
going to pop up. Like with the Craigslist killer, they shut down that sex section of
Yeah.
Craigslist. Then you have Backpage. They shut that down because a lot of trans women were being killed. Shut that down.
yeah.
Now you got OnlyFans. They're going to shut that down. They're going to make something else.
Yeah, like I mean, it's like trying to fight a hydra,
They already
cutting
shot
out the head.
It's always something that's gonna be
Yeah.
like as long as there humans on this planet, it's always gonna something else is going to come about.
Absolutely.
It's always
Especially
gonna be
sex.
something else.
Absolutely.
As much as you're gonna try to stop it and we can debate it, it's not gonna stop. Like
That what makes
I
the
don't know.
world
That's
go
not
around.
That's not necessarily my debate on stopping.
Yeah.
I would
Pretty
just
But what
Gauge
what
it.
role
You know what I mean?
what role do you think that any of you could play in to try to tip the scales either way?
Individual.
Yeah, like
That's my wife.
individual.
Either I tip or I don't.
I don't know. I'm not on social media.
That's good. You're probably the healthiest person in that room. In this
No, I'm
room.
probably the
Not because
toxic
you're.
one in that room.
You know, video games count, bro. We're gonna get to that. For sure.
Do y'all think y'all could play a role, if any, to try to change anything? Just even by the consumption of certain over-sexualized material.
I'm saying I can say that I have intervened in certain relatives of mine, the younger generation, because they listen to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for some reason, if you cool in their eyes, it might seem like they're not listening, but they do.
Yeah.
It's a respect factor.
Yeah.
Like, it has been told to me. Talking to 14, 15, 16-year-olds. They know. They watch TikTok and everything else out there. They see the sex. They know it. They can sit here and recite every lyric in any song that says everything explicit.
Yeah.
Like, it's there. They know. They know what they're not supposed to do. They know they're not supposed to do it. We knew not to have sex when we was coming up. We knew that. But
We didn't
still
have
did.
social media.
Right, we didn't
Like,
have
we
social
still
media.
went outside and played.
We was sneaking to watch
Now
videos
kids
of
don't even want to go
sex
outside
And
and
you got
play.
kicked
Like,
off
they
certain
got
sites.
phones and
TikTok ain't even for kids.
they got
And then,
social media.
It was just really the
everywhere.
accessibility of everything because it was just like now we was
That's why
having a
YouTube got
sleepover
sued.
like when we was younger. One person, we ain't supposed to watch that. We're not supposed to do that. It's always gonna be that one person that's gonna be like, we're not supposed to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But if
And then
7 out of 1 doing it then.
yeah, and then
Hey, let's
it's
do
just
it. Fuck
yeah, it's
Because of safety in the herd. That's how human beings roll.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we all do it, and we all gonna go down together or
Yeah.
ride together.
Let's watch it
But-
together.
I mean, that's all we can do as parents is just control.
what you're capable of.
Is control what information I provide them and let them know, so they're aware, so they can make the best decision. And then for me as an adult, I can control what I post.
Yeah.
So if I want a video of me out there, then I can control that it actually goes out there where I want it to go.
You gotta explain that later.
Right.
Because I've noticed even with my nieces and nephews and like the research that I did on child shows and stuff, a lot of it is even coming up in the children's shows about just sex anyway. It's just like, I don't think that a kid should just learn about sex.
We'll let them watch a movie though. Where
I'm
they-
saying, but it goes back. Some kids was watching The Simpsons and the shit that was going on in The Simpsons back then in South Park. So it's been happening.
Yeah, but The Simpsons is different from Blue's Clues.
It is,
But
but it's still been in there. That same way Adult Swim. I'm saying,
And I'll be honest, back in the day, we used to watch shit and sit back a little bit. You know, we might have hunched, play around or whatever amongst each other. But nowadays, it seems like kids are like ready to grow up. Like,
fast.
shit.
because you have kids raising
got social
kids,
media.
like
Shit.
And
Social
because of
media.
social media, and
You
tablets
have kids
and
raising
apps
kids.
and all that
Social
stuff, like
media.
something as simple as like my 3-year-old being on PBS app or something like that.
Mhm.
If a pedophile want to hack in and message her and drop a dick
That
pic,
shit is
they can do
serious.
that.
Yeah.
Mm.
Alright.
I'm
Bad.
saying it's the same way on the
So
ring.
that's-
They hacked the
that
ring.
plays a
Dude
part
hacked
in
the
it, too.
ring
So it's
and
like
was
how
watching
much-
the girl in the living room. Yes, they had it on the news. Dude hacked the ring
You
camera and
can't
was
even
talking
do
to her.
nothing on the tablet at this point. Like just
Yeah.
sit in
And
the
the-
room and
and-
color.
And like me personally, I don't have kids, so I don't know how I'm just gonna completely father my children. But I don't want them to have any electronic device. I'm like,
Not to a
And that's
certain
fine.
age.
I'm like,
Well, now we got
I'm
minors,
weird.
too.
I'm weird
You
about
gotta be
that.
locked up after a
And,
certain time type deal.
And also, like, cause I'm from a big family, so I'm going to ask help to raise them. Like, yeah, help me raise this.
From the relatives.
Yeah, like from the relatives and my friends and stuff. Like, you see my kid doing something crazy,
Oh yeah,
you
let me
need to
know.
go ahead and snatch that up
Let
real
me
quick.
know,
Like,
yeah.
nip that in the bud right then, and then let me know, and then I'm gonna do that again just because. Cause I know there's like one thing that we actually stepped away from a lot was the village helping raise the child.
Mhm.
Can't say nothing to no kids.
Yeah, you can't. Like, mom come out of nowhere,
Kids
dad
don't
come out of
drink
nowhere. You.
those.
So
Right, this
They
is different
strapped.
breed of kids.
Definitely.
Shoot your ass
Right.
just for saying something.
Definitely.
Yeah, I talk to
You
a
got
5-year-old.
fashion,
to a
12,
gangs,
you know what I'm saying?
guns, like
They
they
have no
got
respect.
access to
They
all
do.
this.
If you-
Even if you try to stop it,
And
they
then
got
they gonna
access
tell their
to
mama they want,
Yeah.
their
When
mama
we
gonna
was young,
fight
our
you
parents used to be able to come in our classroom and whoop our ass.
I'm saying, but the respect has
And they
gone.
stopped
That's
walking.
all
Ain't
that
no
is.
respect
There's
either.
no respect no more. And discipline sure don't happen. What is discipline?
But even if you
Respect looks for
do, they
morals.
still like,
And they ain't got morals neither.
man.
They don't.
She
Nowadays-
don't
They got YOLO.
You see, nowadays, this was
That
the
goes,
system.
that goes back
It's
to
YOLO.
the whole
You gotta like
judgment.
it.
That people want to be able to do
Order,
whatever they want to do without
Right.
being judged for.
Yeah.
So I know. So I'm just noticing just because there's just so much stuff that goes on, and one thing that I know is just really out of whack is just there's no type of order.
But this generation, people raise their kids different. Like
They raise their kids as their friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
In
move
some
away from the
cases,
discipline part.
in some cases, I had my child when I was 6. Like, I got pregnant at 16. I had my son at 17. But like, I had a family that was there. But at the same time, my mom, she was strict and all kind of shit. Like, no, you can't do certain things. You can't go here. You can't. But I also was able to come and talk to her about a lot of stuff. Like, some people can't do that. Like, my mama and dad, they was open. Like, come and talk to me.
Then it makes sense because
They made you feel comfortable. And a
you're
lot of
level-headed.
Yes.
You're able to communicate.
A lot of parents didn't make
That's
that
good.
you feel comfortable talking to them.
That's
You
true.
know your parent, but you're not comfortable talking to them. I can hang out with you from the store to here the next week, but you ask me anything personal, I'm alright. I'm good. No, I'm not alright. I'm not good. But how can I express that? Because every time I start expressing myself, you giving me backlash, or you criticizing me,
Right.
or you cussing me out, or saying something negative. So okay, so at the same time as I'm getting older, in this adolescent teenage phase and high school, as you say, I'm going to shut down towards my parents, open up towards my peers, and we don't know how each other is raised per se to the T. You can sit here and be all in the books of philosophical, but then I got another friend that's per se all or have access to sex because their parent ain't never home. It's like that. Every dynamic is different in the household. So we all sit here and bring all that to school. We hang out with who we click with or vibe with the most, and we initially just rub off on each other at some point. Something always is going to rub off on somebody
Well,
after
I'm
a period of
I
time.
done seen babies go to daycare and come home with habits.
I'm a big supporter of homeschooling kids. That's me.
There's nothing wrong with that as long as you're teaching your kids
That's me.
what's right.
Like the only time I want my kids to socialize if they doing sports or something like that. But like the public school system
Is you trying to
destroys.
shield
It's a
them?
catch-22 bro.
Not the shield.
But they
them.
gotta have
Not
exposure
the
too.
shield.
I'm
Not the
saying,
shield
yeah,
them.
you gotta
But
make sure
one-
they develop that social skill.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I
That's
said.
what's gonna
That's
set
why I
them at the
said.
top.
That's why I said
that'll kill 'em.
I'll put them in sports. I'll put them in dance or all that extra stuff. That's cool. But
You don't want to hide them
There's-
from a lot of shit. Like,
No,
a
I
lot
don't.
of shit you want them to know and see. Like, this what'll happen if you do this. This what'll happen if you try this.
But then at the same
This,
But kids got curiosity. They're
True.
naturally curious. As you get older, you are developing how to be curious about
Then-
shit. Like, you don't know that's a red cup. When you're younger, you learn that that's a red cup. I can sit
Yeah.
here and teach a kid that, hey, that's blue, and it's not. It's red.
And as a parent, you may not want your child to come in contact with a red cup, but there's really nothing 100% that you can do to make sure that they never see. Or
I don't
touch
gonna
a
do
red
what
cup.
have a
wanna
problem
do,
like
though.
that. But if they're curious about something, they can ask me. I want them to ask me, and I'll tell them the truth.
So you want to
Me, I was raised in a house we didn't learn about Santa Claus. I asked them where the presents come from. My dad told me, "Hey, I work for these."
About that
and
shit.
I did
Right.
that.
That's
That was me.
That's right.
Same
So-
with my household. There was
so
no Santa.
that's-
My mom
it's
was,
the-
it was Santa.
Again, it's
But you appreciate
communication.
them for that.
You need to communicate with your child.
Yeah.
Like my dad told me about sex. Like I knew about sex when I think before I hit double digits because I asked the question. And where babies come from? Ain't no stork. Let me tell you what happened is we grown.
Right.
So like it was just certain things I was exposed to at a young age, and I was able to process because he was able to explain it to me. So I wasn't lost, or I wasn't just sitting here trying to find something to just make myself feel bad. No, it was like I understood what it did.
So that's good on your father though, but you have some parents that don't do that. They don't want their kids to learn that because
They'll rather send them in school to learn.
in
these
a
things.
sense, but like at the same time, you have some parents who's not ready to accept that reality that their child is growing up. Also, like some people want their kid to still be a kid, and it's just like
It's safe.
the world. Yeah, it's safety, but the world is gonna gas pedal this, regardless if you're ready for it or not. And that's in a sense how we kind of got what we're dealing with right now. It's like it's not a balance. You have parents who didn't want to talk. I'm gonna be honest. My mama didn't sit here and just sit down and just want to have the sex talk with me. And when she did, it was so uncomfortable and awkward. So whatever she was saying is literally like, okay, I'm saying this so you can stop talking to me.
And you just wanted to get it done with it.
I just wanted to get it done because I'm not comfortable having this talk with you.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I get where you coming from, but it also starts at a young age. If my mother did not make me feel comfortable talking at a young age or being open or whatever the case may be, as we get older, you're going to deal with the same thing. And you're going to end up confining in someone else. Maybe the wrong person.
Yeah.
But kids gonna do what they want to do.
They got to
Like
learn on their own.
adults.
One
That-
thing
that-
that everyone has is free will. When God made all of us with free will, you can't, it's free will.
But I think communication between children and their parents will help and save a lot of kids. Just to get that knowledge from their
Healthy
parents.
communication.
Yeah.
They still gonna do what
Yeah,
they want
yeah,
to
of course,
like,
of course. But
no matter
then,
how much you shield them.
but it's just like
like
it's just like
They
with touching.
still-
It's just like with touching the iron. Like you're gonna have some kids that touch the iron, of course,
But some
I
can
know
be a
I
little
do.
bit
and
more cautious.
some that exactly. They
Some like touching iron.
because a smart man learns from his own lessons. A wise man learns from the lessons of others. So you have some kids that are wise that can take heed to their parents' word. Just because their parents were open and honest enough to tell them and explain to them certain situations in life, and they didn't go in completely green. But
Each kid is different too.
it is. Can't save them all. But thank you for joining me on my show. I am TJ Evans with another episode of Untitled Discussion, here joined by everybody in onesies. Thank you. We're in this cabin in Tennessee. You have a good one. Subscribe to the Royal Family Studios page, YouTube, and Rumble. Good night. Oh, yeah, all this stuff. Oh, yeah, and like and subscribe to the page as well. Don't leave without doing that. So, appreciate it.